Hello friends, it's Lionheart here. We are back to reveals. That was a long weekend waiting for some day. Syndicate time. Syndicate is always hit and miss in terms of how often people will play it or how good it is. Who knows? Well, you know what? We now have a bit of an idea. I'm really interested to see where these cards end up fitting in Syndicate in general, whether it's a specific archetype or perhaps across various different archetypes. I'm really curious to see what you think. Where would you put each of these cards? That's what I want to know. I've got an opinion on some of them. I'm curious to see, because a lot of the time Syndicate ends up being very big brain. You'll look at a card and think, is that? And then it's everywhere and you're like, oh, right, well, maybe that's the case. We now know, no, these two, yes, we know the identity of a couple of these cards now. We are going to take a look at them together immediately, straight away. I'll be discussing all of these reveals, of course, on twitch.tv/Lionheart, and we'll be playing a new faction each day, probably. But on the first day, we're going to try a little bit of all 6 of them, and I will have deck lists ready to go on patch day for all factions. There'll be a video up on YouTube for that as well, or you can come and see us on Twitch and play along. But let's not tease you anymore. I know why you're here. You're not here to hear me talk. You're here. And this is the first one, the Oxenfurt Guard. Now, he's a human, so the first thing you'll be thinking in Syndicate is, okay, he's got no tag, so he doesn't fit a specific, a faction as sort within Syndicate. What's his ability? B2, boost adjacent units by 1. If that reduced your coins to 0, boost the units by 2 instead, and it can do that once a turn. 4 base power, 2 armor, and 5 provisions. Now, bear in mind, all of the numbers on the card are subject to change last minute. You never know. And that's the case with all cards in pre-release. This is the current version that we think is coming. So what do I feel about this? It's a it would fit in basically any Syndicate archetype that was looking for a spender. It spends at a decent rate, albeit only once per turn, which is quite crucial because of that cooldown. It can be spending at effectively fill up a value. You're getting 2 points per coin if you spend correctly at the right moment. It's a good spender, it's fine. The fact that it's at 5 provisions means you can't find it from Eventide Plunder. I'm trying to work out if that means if at 4 provisions this card would just be so good because you could find it in Plunder, it was so accessible. Or if it being at 5 provisions means you're unlikely to take it because there are decent 4 provision spenders that can spend at a decent rate. The good thing about this, of course, it spreads those boosts. So one of Syndicate's big issues is keeping its spenders alive and then playing into Tool Punish, things like that. Well, this helps you avoid that and can often be really valuable. Overall, I like this card. I think the Oxenfurt Guard is a fun card. I think it's a good... It doesn't really support a specific archetype, which it will just kind of go into, realistically, most things, I want to say, in Syndicate. It has the potential to be there. What do you think about this card? Can you think of an immediate use of it? Is there a deck you're thinking, Because the big thing is you've got to spend down to 0 coins. Well, there are some decks that like doing that. If you're going to play the new Syndicate scenario, of course, that's a Tide Cloak based where you're getting a pocket full of coins regularly. You kind of want to spend them all each turn to get them back. Maybe this fits nicely there, but could just go a fair few things. Let me know. This next one is Open Sesame. This is a crime card. It is 5 provisions. Instantly profit 5. Well, that's a good start. And in a Line Pockets deck, you're getting 6 profit straight off the bat. But what else are we getting? It's not just pure coins. There's a few cards like this. So it's a 0 tempo card, which is big. You've got to remember that. Other than the profits, obviously as a result, you may spend some of those profits with a spender. But while in your graveyard, whenever you reach 0 coins, remove a counter from this card. When the counter reaches 0, gain another 4 coins, and it has 6 counters. So this again wants you to spend all of your coins every turn. I don't know about this. I don't know when I'd ever put this card in a deck. Maybe I'm missing a deck. There'll be reworks, of course, going alongside these cards, and perhaps there will be something that will fit and synergize this that I'm not quite seeing yet. Oh, you're getting a good amount of profit. You're getting potentially 10 coins, and you could play this for coin carryover. That's useful if you want to play a crime because it will trigger no problem. If you're playing Intimidate, for instance, that could work as well. And the initial just value of it is interesting. It does... I'm not sure where I run this card. I'm not 100% sure where I would run this card. Where would you run this card? What do you think you would do with this? I'm not 100% sure. I'm just literally searching through to think. Is there anything in here that makes me go, I have to run this? Is there something I'm missing? So Shady Vendor can create this. Am I ever going to take this from Shady Vendor? Probably not by choice, although it may end up being the best value overall. A lot of Syndicate decks do consistently want to spend down because they have ways of generating coins at the end of the turn, for instance. That's not too bad. I'm not so sure. I don't know where you put this. Tell me, can you think of a deck that you've always thought this might be useful for? Let me know. Next. Now this... I think this card is a great card. This is Eveline Gallo. Eveline Gallo is the new epic card. She is an elf, so once again, she is not affiliated to any specific gang. There is no gang tag here. But at 5 base power, 7 provisions, and her ability at the end of your turn, if you have 0 coins, gain 3 coins. So this now, all of a sudden with the 3 together, you think, okay, I'm regularly spending down, but if I've got Eveline, I'm gaining coins very quickly. This could be a really good card across most parts of Syndicate, I want to say. I feel like Eveline could do some really good work in quite a few places. She's mid-range. You have to keep her alive, but if you don't remove this as the opponent, it's a really scary card to exist. I can see Eveline being played in quite a few different things. She's going to go, maybe you put her in Line Pockets, maybe you play her in Pirate's Cove. I think you definitely run her in some Golden Necker Syndicate sort of value lists. I think she'd play well there. I could see Eveline being good. I think so far she's probably just edging it as my favourite of the 3 we've seen. Just about. Decent card, very answerable. But I suppose at 7 it needs to be. But the ceiling on this card is pretty huge. 3 coins per turn, assuming you're spending them each turn, and assuming you're only getting 1 point per coin, which is not that common in Syndicate, really, but let's say you are. It's a 3 point a turn engine. Admittedly, you have to click. It's not passive, it's not just gonna, but it will gain you that last 3 coins to take 1 coin of carryover. This card, very, very good at 7, if it sticks, if it survives. I think we'll see a decent amount of this, and probably a decent amount of Oxenfurt Guard. Still not so sure where we see Open Sesame. I guess we'll find out. What do you think of Eveline? Where are you putting her? What are you doing? I want to know what her upper body workout is, because she is just chilling, hanging off the edge of that. I'm going to be honest. Love the card art. Can't wait to see the premium. But let's take a look at the legendary. So far, this package seems to be... I'm not sure if it's a package on its own, if it's things to go into Syndicate. It's all about spending all of your coins every single turn for that benefit. Well, let's take a look at Casimir Bassi. Now, a lot of you have obviously seen the art, will recognize him from Hearts of Stone in The Witcher. Old Casimir, he does have a tag. He is a dwarf and he's a crown splitter. So we do have a gang tag. This is the only card that has a gang tag. He's 11 provisions and 6 base power. He has Veil, so he's much harder to deal with at 6 power and Veil. Removing him isn't as simple. You hope not at 11. What's his ability? Deploy. Spend all your coins. Okay, so he just takes all of your coins. A good way to make that happen once for all the others to proc. But boosts self by the number of coins spent. Well, that's not the most efficient spending of coins, of course, because... well, as we've mentioned, Syndicate's pretty good at getting more than 1 coin per point. But in this instance, 1 coin per point. I've got 9 coins. This is boosting by 9. No problem. Okay. Once per turn, when you reach 0 coins, he will spawn explosives on this. Explosives? Explosives. Well, let's take a look, shall we? Explosives. They are a token. Okay, a brand new token going in. I wonder, is this coming in with a premium? I hope so. Token. It is a doomed token. Spend 2 and damage an enemy unit by 2 and destroy self. Okay, so it's just another 2 for 2 spender, but at the end of your turn, reduce the fee by 1. If the fee cost was 0, destroy self instead. Okay, so you could potentially have a few of these lined up, I suppose, in one turn. Maybe you... So you could do quite a lot of damage in one go. Maybe you'd find a place for this in Bounty, perhaps? Okay, so once per turn. For each turn, we'll have 0 coins, so he'll spawn explosives. Then he can spawn explosives the next turn. Okay. There's a couple of different places I suppose this could go into. Again, this could be in a variety of lists, really. He seems... I'm trying to work out the best use of him. Where would you fit him in? There's a lot of fighting in kind of mid-range Syndicate for cards in the 11, 12, 13 provision space. In an actual Crown Splitter deck, are you putting him in something... Like, are we trying to go for like wide Crown Splitters again? That's an option, potentially. You could put Casimir in something like that. You could use him in Bounty, because, again, remember these explosives here. Destroy an enemy unit by 2, or damage an enemy unit by 2. I believe we can choose that enemy unit. It's not just explosion and hope. I'm not so sure. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this one, because I don't know where I put each piece of the puzzle. I know the art's amazing. I think the cards have some good value. I believe the Oxenfurt Guard and Eveline are most likely to see play across the board. And I think there's a deck in here somewhere that I can't quite see yet. I'm wondering what balance changes will come to support this. Or if I'm missing something. What do you think? I want to hear from you. Tell me what you want from these cards, where you're going to play them, and how you think they're going to find value. Or if you don't, let me know in the comments down below. This is faction number 4. 2 more to go, my friends. Just 2 more to go. My usual favourite Scoia'tael still to come. And on the final day of reveals, oh, it's Nilfgaard. I'm interested to see how everybody reacts to the next 2. I really am. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see the other 3 that have been revealed so far, that being Skellige, monsters of course as well, then you can see those in the videos down below. If you really want to see Northern Realms, that's there as well. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching, friends.